Thank you for the invitation to be here today, and thanks to the team who put together this marvelous organized event. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to be with you here today in this venerable halls. Once more, as a member of the TV team within Swisscom who was entrusted to build this platform several years ago, I have the pleasure of asking today the question, to be or not to be on Android TV. As such, I will provide you with an insight on our decision-making process in the recent year, especially in the situation we were back then when we had to take this decision, and to my knowledge, when I drafted those slides 2 weeks ago, in the situation where we are today. Not in taking the input of today, of course, but see where we get with that. Some of those slides will be heavily in text, so I'm ashamed for that, but they're intended for the purpose for you to take home to your teams and talk to your strategists. Last but not least, we will have a short view what would have to change from our side of Swisscom regarding Android TV for us to reconsider our decision. And no, even for some, as this such might have the impression, I have no hidden agenda and try to be as objective as possible. Where we're coming from, Swisscom launched its IPTV venture in 2006 with 0 customers, DSL, based on a media platform. I think the latest point was 2.0, delivered by Microsoft. And we were happy, we had substantial growth, but after a certain time we realized there's a backdraft being bound so much to just one solution and platform provider. And we got the feeling that this very tight relation will limit us in future generations of the TV platform and even in our competitiveness in our local market. As such, we started looking around in 2012, what would be alternative solutions to come up with, which platform can we work on. Given at that time Android TV was around in its very early stages, at the brief look we had at it, we came to the conclusion either the scalability, the strict tools in place at that time, and the platform stability we were aiming for are not supported by the platform. Another reason, for example, is even so the energy restrictions which apply to Switzerland. Android TV at that time hadn't the capabilities to support those issues we were facing. Nevertheless, we went the way for Android open source project, and Android was the success of our TV journey in general. At Swisscom, we are highly customer experience focused and practice driven. Data-driven development is at our core. As such, the liberty of being ahead in the platform in data collection, learning, adapting, doing A/B testing is very essential for us. To provide you with a better picture of what the platform more or less looks like today based on Android open source project, I brought with a product demo video which we showed to the customers after a nightly update in 2007, where everybody was greeted with a welcome video about the new experience. Enjoy.
With Entertainment OS 3, your TV experience is even better and, most importantly, even more personal than ever before. You can tailor-make Swisscom TV to be exactly how you want it. With Personal Universe, you can find your favorite TV content even more easily. Your home screen is your own personal program guide. Under Now on TV, you'll see what's currently on your favorite channels, and with the help of our TV experts, you can discover which programs are recommended today and set to be the talk of the office tomorrow. You can easily store your favorites in the different theme worlds or immerse yourself in them straight away. You'll find the most popular series, most viewed, upcoming shows, video-on-demand highlights, and much more, listed by genre, all in the same place. You'll no longer be wondering where to watch, but what. Via Swisscom MyCloud, you can access your home videos and photos directly and enjoy them on the big screen. We are very proud of our voice-activated smart remote. Say what you want and Swisscom TV will do it. I want to watch SRF too. Or jump straight to a specific part of the menu. Show my recordings. New voice commands are being added all the time. You can now find things even more easily thanks to easy search. And the new actor biographies tell you all you need to know about your favorite stars, and you can see all available films straight away. Box set fans are also in luck. Thanks to the series overview, you'll never miss an episode of your favorite series again, whatever channel it's on. Your recordings are immediately available on all your devices. Thanks to unlimited recording, download your favorite programs at home and enjoy them on the go, even if you don't have an internet connection. By the way, the number of videos in UHD quality is increasing all the time. If you can't find anything to watch from over 50,000 programs available on demand and 6,000 Teleclub videos, you can use one of the apps. With Netflix, Sky, YouTube, Red Bull TV, and more, all available directly on your TV. There's even more content at your fingertips. You've got to try it. Thank you for choosing the best that digital TV has to offer. Welcome to Swisscom TV.
La la la.
As such, we reached, after 6 years, a product stability in the field which reduces significantly the amount of calls we receive in complaining regarding the product or its stability. We reached, even through HR practices, as Ingmar told before, the capability of release a stable production client within 6 weeks, which would match its predecessor stability KPIs in the field. That gives us a leverage in bringing new features to the market in a very short time and being competitive. Almost on every feature, we reach a very high engagement level by the customers and manage to drive customers into new areas of the client. So we're constantly measuring the NPS, and as far as we are happy with it. For that, the UI ownership for us was very essential, and I consider ourselves UI crazy, because we want to have for all audiences of our customerships, and those start with 20s and the late 80s. That's also a reason why we still have the buttons with the numbers on the remote control. A product which serves all their need. Being on Android open source project opened new sources of revenue for us. Being ahead of the choice whom we integrate in which partnership, under which terms, gives us the leverage of introducing carrier billing partnerships, and those are just picking up with every new SWOT service or different content provider being ramped up on the platform. Nevertheless said, ramping up those apps and partners, it's effort and work involved. So what we're coming from, more technical slide. The Android guys will recognize this. It's the base Android framework. To the upper left, the parts which Swisscom mostly implemented. And since you're also a fan of open source, we made them available to a major stake now for you to have a look at and download and play with it. Why did we have to implement a full IP stack? One basic example is that we're heavily setting on multicast distribution with FCC Red and ALU, something which you wouldn't automatically get in that level and feature richness directly with Android TV. You would also have to invest there. And of course, the legislational forces which we have to comply with, energy consumption, all those integration levels we have to dig down are essential in the architecture. On Android, you have a very straightforward architecture to deal with. And I think we're happy with our partnerships we're engaging, because we're not doing contracts at Swisscom, we're doing partnerships. As such, our partners are very bound to us in the agile working manner too. And we managed to work in this architecture quite well. What do we have to consider between the choice of Android open source or Android TV? And at this, I'm mostly referring to Android operated here as the latest flavor to be available to us. This should be a framework of the points we are looking at. If you're going for Android TV, it's convenience. You're getting a lot of features already packaged by Google for you, and you profit from future developments. Vice versa, on Android open source, you have way more flexibility, which direction you go, but it's also more effort involved. Effort, which we spend, for example, in the voice recognition. We are serving 35 local dialects in Switzerland, something we wouldn't have achieved with the Google Voice Search, and is still a differentiator which our competitors try to catch up with. On the content side, Android open source, due to the lack of the presence of the Android Play Store, we are kind of gatekeeper, whom we go to enjoy business with and whom we're granting access to our customer base. But also, we have the extra effort to go that way to integrate those partners. In the layer of having the Android store on board, there's also factors you need to be aware of in the sense, yes, there are 4,000 apps, but there are also coming partners to your platform in the sense that they are not going to play fair on your local market due to lack, for example, of implementation of geofencing, or just their pricing techniques going way below the established prices in the market. So if you go that way, be prepared to deal with it. Efforts and cost. AOSP, definitely higher investment cost at the beginning, but we find that the life cycle we're saving. Coming back to that point later when we talk about Android TV and the upgrade policy. Further on, the user experience. For us, it was essential to have a one-hand drafted user experience. So whenever elements come up, we want them to be part of our UI. And we want to be able to deliver a very sleek, unified user experience. As such, with the control of the launcher, you have way more possibilities today than we had when we made the decision in 2012, 2013. But there are still overlays like the search and, of course, the assistant, where you have to deal with the Android UI coming on top. Of course, the security. On AOSP, we won't have the requirement to open the set-top box. On Android TV, that's still a requirement. And as previously mentioned, the stability and quality. We're designing for the platform just for our own hardware. Android TV is dealing with a zoo, and my deepest respect for that. So, at our approach, for the nearest future, I think Swisscom is going to rely on Android open source, but we're always open for discussion. Now we had the very deep emotional curve to light it a little bit up. Android is cool, because you find all over the world resources to work on Android, except for Switzerland. We tried heavily in latest month to get some local resources. We just get applications from outside of Switzerland. We consider Android future-proof. The community is growing and growing. The adoption on devices is growing further. That's a future-proof platform. And the focus on Android is the right one compared to other platforms available on the market, namely RDRK. We consider Android nowadays performant and stable. With a good partner, I think, and Swisscom thinks, the dependencies are manageable. We had good experience in touching the middleware layers and even going the way with third-party partners on that. Coming back to Android TV. For Android TV, we touched the Play Store aspects. Future features, I think that the assistant is going to be playing a major role, and that's also the back thinking of Google, what we see so far. The launcher is a good choice, introduced with Android Open here, and Google is listening to us operators, made major moves coming into our direction. Search results, we heard, we're now in charge. We can have a talk who is going to present in the search results. So that's a very good direction we're already going. Nevertheless, for us to reach the stability and the performance we have today, the leverage of being able of introducing new technical counters very fast was very important and dear to us. Premium partnerships, you have the access to 4,000 apps, but the premium applications still come with a certification process, namely Netflix and Amazon. So the effort is still there, as we also heard yesterday. As soon as a customer wants to engage in Google Core Services, he needs to sign up or log in. Until that point, the customer hasn't been visible to Google. For some players in the market, that might present a problem, but it's part of the system. Voice search, yes, it's there. It wouldn't have served us for the Switzerland partners, and having Android boxes already in Switzerland being rolled out, there's no differentiation on that feature. Privacy. For Swisscom, it's a selling argument. We are hardly counting on having all the data we're collecting to stabilize and improve the project in Switzerland. Security we already touched. As such, it's just a repetition. Last but not least, what needs to change and switch for us? Those points are purely Swisscom view. We're doing an excellent business on the VOD and SWOT. As such, we would like to have a little bit more talks in who's actually joining our platform, under which terms. Flexibility in regards to the voice assistant. The voice assistant is the next big thing. Having the possibility to bring our own side-by-side would be a wish of ours. The requirement to have the voice assistant on the remote control, we're already talking about, okay, there's Netflix on the remote control, there's Amazon, there's 4Play, there's the Google Assistant, there might be Alexa. No, there might not be Alexa, definitely not. It's going to be a zoo, and I don't want to exchange hardware buttons, nor do I want to make them as a display to be able to upgrade the partners by firmware flash. As such, talking earlier about the upgrade cycles. The upgrade cycles are a challenge for operators. We launched the product, and we don't want to spend 50% of our development resources just to keep in-field maintained. We're asking ourselves, why shouldn't there be the possibility to skip certain versions in the upgrade cycle to reduce the effort on the operator side? What you get as silicon support is mostly 3 years of support. For us as operators, we start to count set-top boxes in field 5 years and up. With a 3-year support life cycle, we would have to change our field force every 4 to 5 years. That's costs we cannot bear. Going the virtualized way, we heard earlier about set-top boxes in field. Do we longer need set-top boxes? That's a way to approach the problem. But we're still bound to the set-top boxes, at least on Swisscom side, because we want to give the customers the experience today. Virtualize that, or being on different TV sets, the experience and the performance will go down. As such, thank you very much for your attention. It was my pleasure.